when you're getting ready in the morning, when you're working, or when you're simply looking to open your mind. Download Mindset and listen to your favorite inspirational speeches of all time.
I am no longer going to be watching any football, and I'm no longer going to have Netflix at all. And that is what I'm giving up for 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's what I'm sacrificing. And I think a lot of people create these to-do lists when, in my experience, it's been so much more useful to write down all the things that I'm willing to sacrifice. Because if you sacrifice everything, there's nothing left than to do the one thing that matters. Most of everyone who's listening to this who isn't achieving what they want is with their time. They think that they're spending all their time working, but you don't even know how to work. I'm being really real with you. Like, you think you know how to work, you don't know how to work. And I'll measure this by, like, what is your output? It's probably not as high as you think. And so rather than trying to learn all these productivity hacks, the ultimate productivity hack is no. N-O.
Where would you be if you observed and judged your own behavior the exact same way that you observe and judge other people's behavior? They watch people do things and they're like, why do they act that way? Why do they make those decisions? Do you ever stop to ask yourself those questions? What if you gave yourself the criticism that you so easily dish out to other people? You got no problem being the armchair quarterback of everyone else's day-to-day lives, but you don't stop to look yourself in the mirror. If you questioned your own behavior, your own thoughts, your own decisions, just like you do everyone else, I guarantee you're going to find a lot of problems that you're going to want to solve. Problems that if you solve them, you could change your whole life. And you're never going to figure any of that out if your eyes are on everyone else. You're going to spend your whole life focusing on problems that you can't solve.
At a point, you just have to start doing it for a love of the game. I've said this many times before. Living a life of fulfillment and purpose is war. And to be more specific, spiritual war. But also, it doesn't mean it has to be this dreadful thing. Like, yeah, it can certainly be treacherous, there's no doubting that. But there's also kind of a beauty there. Something like a dance or a hauntingly beautiful poem. So like, yeah, it can be hard sometimes. But now such a statement seems so shallow.
If you're listening to me right now and you can hear these words and you're somebody that struggles with self-doubt or imposter syndrome, I'm going to tell you something. The research about confidence is very clear that confidence isn't a feeling. You don't feel confident. Confidence, the definition I want you to really embrace and live by, is the willingness to try. Because every time you try, especially in the face of doubt, you are displaying that you believe in your ability to survive whatever happens next. And so it's in the trying that you show yourself that you are capable of trying something and failing. And what makes you feel full of doubt and imposter syndrome is that you sit in your head and tell yourself you can't. And every day that you wake up and you don't do the thing, whether it's going to the gym or asking that person out, stop doing that. Stop. And the second that you take action in a different direction, you start to see yourself differently.
Insert emotion. I'm nervous, I'm excited, I'm whatever. It's like, if you weren't, I'd be worried about you. Because this is a serious commitment. And so the fact that you're nervous or the fact that you're afraid makes you just like everyone else who succeeds. But you know what you have in common with a lot of people that absolutely change their lives? They say the same thing. You associate this negative feeling with being the successful person they want to be.
That's not an easy task because we all are trying to be something, but we already are that something we're trying to be. That doesn't mean you can't be better, but it's like accepting and appreciating what you really are, and instead of projecting, something else, takes a lot of pain out of your body gets a lot of fears to just disappear. And I don't have an easy path for that. I think it's the hero's journey. What is it? Your life is ordinary and everything seems fine, and then something hits you and it's the call to adventure. It doesn't feel like a call. It feels like someone in your family's got cancer. It feels like, COVID and somebody shut down your business, or, some issue that's happening in a relationship with your kids. But if you take the call and you go on the journey, you're gonna meet some new friends, you're gonna find some new mentors, you're gonna battle with internal things within you and external things. But if you keep going, you're gonna eventually slay your dragons and you come out the hero of your own life and you have something to share. It's not something you read somewhere, it's something you've lived. It makes life really, really beautiful.
Becoming closer to your vision, becoming the person that you strive to be, does not demand perfection, but rather the persistent and pure desire for better and for good. It's easy for us to get hyper-fixated on not making a mistake or not making a wrong turn. And we start to overanalyze and paralyze ourselves with fear or doubt. It makes us hesitant in the way we pursue action. And hesitancy is not good. You know, these mistakes, these failures, these wrong turns ultimately do not matter. The only thing that is demanded of you in order to make the changes that you want to make is the pure and persistent desire to be better and to be good. And this, paired with time, anything can be.
You see this? An hourglass. It's a perfect reminder of how time flows. The sand at the top, that's the future, completely out of your control. Sand at the bottom, that's the past, already gone. But this, the flow in the middle, that's the present, and that is where life happens. You can't speed it up, you can't slow it down. All you can do is focus on this moment.
One of the things that I like to teach people when there's a problem, and we all have problems. Not all of us can deal with the world and war, but we can deal with our own problems. When a problem comes up, one of the best things to say is, all is well, everything is working out for my highest good, and out of this situation, this so-called problem, only good will come, and I am safe. And you know, this is something that's very powerful. All is well, everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this experience, only good will come, and I am safe. And what that does, it quiets your mind down.
You cannot grow, you cannot mature, you cannot get better, you can't become anything of value to yourself or to anyone else if you shut the door to regrets. Now, you don't let regrets drag you down. You don't let them destroy you. All right, I've talked about this before. You don't let the man that you used to be destroy the man that you are today or the man that you're trying to be today. All right, but balanced regret is what helps you become a better man. Unbalanced guilt is what destroys you. Unbalanced guilt of who you were and what you were in the past or today destroys you. Balanced, open-eyed, thoughtful regret of poor decisions you made in the past is what helps you build and become better and become stronger. That is that check valve that helps you not make that decision again.
Make a promise and keep it every single day of your life, and you will no longer be afraid of yourself. The fear only comes from uncertainty, and if you don't know what to expect from you, that's what gets you in trouble. If you're a thoughtful person with strong intention, it probably feels like everyone's against you, so you better get on your own team so you don't feel alone. When you're on your own team, keeping the promises, you will sacrifice a lot. But I will tell you from experience that the sacrifice is worth every single moment once you realize you don't have to bear the emptiness that consumes all too much of this world.
What kind of permission do you need? To do the thing that you and I both know you really want to do? The thing that not everyone is going to approve of, but you know you're meant to do? What kind of permission do you need to get up and get after it? Yes, there's some risk, mostly just a bruised ego, but you know what's a hell of a lot worse than that? Living with the regret of inaction. Knowing the thing that you need to do, the scary steps that you have to take to grow into the person that you know you want to be, and doing nothing. So if you need it, this is your permission slip. Go do what you need to do.
It says life is not linear, it's cyclical. Accepting this allows us to flow with the process instead of resisting it, like we just said. Understand that life is cyclical. You are going to move in cycles as an individual, right? So don't get so emotionally attached to the seasons where everything feels good that you think that that's how your whole life should be forever. Because the moment it isn't that, you're gonna feel like everything's hitting the fan. Something's wrong. You're doing something wrong. You're going to internalize that and identify with that. Just because you don't feel good doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. Just because things are difficult does not mean you're going the wrong direction. No, it's a part of moving in the right direction, and you have to be willing to embrace those times. Understanding they're serving a greater purpose. You have to remind yourself of this. Understand it is serving a greater purpose. This is part of the journey, and it will not last forever.
And so many people, they need to have a 5K, a 10K. I need to have a course in front of me. I need to have something in front of me for me to get my fucking ass up and do some shit. And that used to be me. And nowadays, you know, for the past 20-something years, I don't need purpose. And people miss out on this, man. The purpose, we're all looking for this golden purpose. Is it this? Is it that? Is it making money? Is it my family? Motherfucker, the purpose is you.
This worrying thing, it's the one part of my life that if I could go back, I would fix. Even the things I've worried about in my life, when they actually happened, they weren't as bad in my body and in my mind as they were when I was worrying about them. And when you worry about it, you experience it hundreds of times. Your mind doesn't know the difference between this thing you think is gonna happen and something that really happens. And so the turmoil you're putting your body through and the debilitating effect it's having on your current circumstances, I actually believe that this is one of the most debilitating things you can do for your physical health, not just your mental health. And when it happens, interrupt the pattern, go change your physiology, do something to change your state. It's taking everything from your life, taking your joy, your passion, your peace, your energy, your focus, your determination, your resourcefulness. So please stop. And I'm talking to me as much as I'm talking to you. Give yourself a gift of controlling that imagination of yours, that beautiful mind of yours. Sometimes it's not about the things you need to do that make us successful. It's the things we need to stop doing that hold us back.
But I'll tell you right now, those weak habits, they gotta break. Your mindset has to be reshaped. You have to believe the odds are beatable, even when people say it's impossible. That's what I call faith. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that's what it's gonna take. 24/7, 365, you gotta live it, breathe it, be it every single day. You gotta conquer any challenge that gets in the way, and remember, it's more about what you do and less about what you say. So if your life couldn't say one word, what would your life speak? Would it still say you about that life? Would it still say you about conquering your struggle, creating new peaks? Would it still say you about getting the most out of your life? Every moment matters, especially when you realize over 150,000 people die every night. That's 55 million people a year. Ain't none of this promised. Ain't none of this guaranteed. So the question I'll leave you with is this. When you fight your last fight, when you breathe your last breath, if this was your last year, what's the legacy that you're gonna leave? Get up and go live your dreams. Make the world respect your greatness. Make this year your year. It all starts with you.